Welcome to my channel RussMove. In this video I want to share a perspective that has deeply shaped the way I relate to my body, my mental state and the connection between emotion and movement. My name is Rasmus. I have over 10 years of experience in strength and cardio-based training, and over the past years I've been exploring mindfulness and integrating it naturally into movement. You see me moving slowly and fluidly in free and intuitive patterns throughout this video. Toward the end, I'll briefly explain what kind of practice this is and how you can approach it in your own way. There's no need to understand the movement patterns intellectually. Simply let the visuals inspire you and focus on listening. Before we dive deeper into the topic, I want to briefly share how I came to these insights and my personal experience with emotions. For a long time in my life, I often didn't feel physically well without any clear cause. Nothing was obviously wrong and yet something felt off. At the same time, I had no real way of processing my emotions. I didn't understand their function or purpose. So I did what many of us do, I suppressed. I didn't know how to integrate or resolve emotions, and by suppressing them I also began to suppress other natural functions of my body. I restricted movement, I became less expressive, and with that I restricted my natural flow. At some point the pain I felt eventually led me to look deeper. I began to realize that what I was dealing with was not random and not purely physical. There was something fundamental I didn't yet understand about emotions and the way the body works with them. That curiosity led me to explore what emotions actually are and what purpose they serve. The word emotion comes from the Latin emovere, which means to move out or to set in motion. This already tells us something essential. Emotion was never meant to describe something static. On a physiological level, emotions are signals within our brain and nervous system. They arise as responses to meaningful situations, to perceived threat, to connection, stimulation, loss, and many other experiences. And what is often overlooked is that emotions have a very clear biological function. They prepare the body for action. Fear mobilizes energy to protect us, joy expands us and opens us outward, anger creates force and direction, sadness slows us down so we can process and integrate. Every emotion has a purpose, and every emotion has a direction. Long before emotions were ever explained with words, they were expressed through the body, through posture, through breath, through movement. The body does not experience emotion as a thought. It experiences emotion as sensation, as tension, temperature, and other forms of bodily perception. In a healthy system, emotions arise, move through the body, and dissolve again. They come and go like waves. But when movement is restricted, when expression is inhibited, and when the body is held still for too long, these waves can no longer complete their cycle. Energy remains unfinished, and emotional energy can remain held throughout the body, in the tissues and within the nervous system. Not because something is inherently wrong, but because the natural outlet is missing. Modern life asks us to sit still, to stay composed and to function at all times, often at the cost of movement. Over time, this lack of movement affects how we feel, not only physically but also emotionally. Emotions remain blocked because they were never allowed to move. We often try to think or talk our way through emotions, and this can be very helpful. Reflection and conversation can bring clarity and to play certainly a part in healing. But to physically process emotions and allow them to fully resolve, the body needs movement. Some emotions demand a clear physical response, like leaving a situation or taking decisive action. Others are more subtle or old and unresolved without a clear external cause. This is where conscious mindful movement becomes important. Slow, fluid movement gives the nervous system a sense of safety. At the same time, it brings the body back into motion and restores circulation physically and emotionally. It allows sensations to be processed without overwhelming the system and creates space for emotions to move again. When movement is gentle and unforced, the body begins to release what it no longer needs to hold. Not through effort, but through permission. When emotion is allowed to move, it is processed in a natural way and completes itself. What was tension becomes softness, what was agitation becomes clarity, and what was heaviness becomes groundedness. You do not need to understand every emotion intellectually, the body already understands. It only needs space, time and movement. This kind of movement can be very simple. Slow shifts of weight, circular motions, soft transitions, movement without a goal, while still allowing simple forms or patterns to give you a foundation to return to. When you move this way, you're not primarily exercising the body, you're communicating with the nervous system. You're telling it that it is safe to let go, safe to feel and safe to move. As you see in this video, I am moving slowly and fluidly in a Tai Chi-inspired way. You can find your own flow through Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, dancing, or any gentle movement that feels natural to you. You may feel inspired by my movements in this video, or you can just design your own movement patterns. You can also bring mindful movement into other physical activities like walking or running, and even into more powerful forms of movement such as strength training. And you can even integrate mindful movement into simple everyday tasks like washing dishes or cleaning your flat. What matters most is awareness and attention, moving slowly, consciously and without rushing, with ongoing observation and without judgment. It is important to reduce external distractions that are unnatural, avoid music or podcasts, and allow your awareness to rest fully on the movement itself. When you notice that your mind has drifted away or that you have started to rush again, simply acknowledge it and gently return to the movement. Don't judge yourself. Movement does not need to be intense to be powerful. Sometimes the softest movements create the deepest shifts. And at the same time, powerful movement can be mindful as well. The most important factor is perspective and consciousness. If you allow emotion to move, it will find its own way, flowing through you as intended, guiding you through the right actions and eventually being released. Conscious mindful movement brings emotion back into motion. And with that, we reconnect to ourselves, to our body, and to the present moment. You don't need long sessions or special settings for this concept to work. Mindful movement can be very simple and it can be part of your everyday life. A few minutes are often enough. Moving slowly in the morning, taking a mindful walk, shifting your weight, rolling your shoulders, moving your spine. Even simple activities like cooking, cleaning or walking can become moments of mindful movement. What matters most is not the duration, but the quality of attention and the consistency. When you move, move with awareness. And after the movement, take a short moment to pause and to notice how you feel. Notice your breath, your body, your inner state, without judgment, just observe. If you practice this regularly, even for just a few minutes a day, it can make a real difference over time. Not by forcing anything, but by allowing emotions to move and complete themselves. This is how mindful movement becomes part of your daily life. Simple, natural and sustainable. And in this way, emotion comes back into motion and the body finds balance and peace again. I wish you all the best on your individual path toward more movement, inner peace and healing. Thank you for just being here and for watching this video until the end. If this video was helpful for you, feel free to leave a like and share your thoughts or experiences with movement and emotions in the comments. And if you'd like to explore more content around mindfulness, movement and mindful strength training, consider subscribing to my channel. Have a wonderful day and see you next time.